This is exercise 28, dissection of sheep heart, due January 31st by Nicole Miller. So the first thing that you're going to notice are some external features of the sheep heart, and you're going to see the line that's going to be kind of running down the middle of the heart. You're going to notice it is sideways. That's because the heart is sideways in the body. It leans. Now this is going to be called the coronary artery. It's typically covered by a layer of fat that you'll see is one of the more drastic things that helps it stand out. So this is going to be the coronary artery. Now as you open it up, you're going to notice the inside features. So as I cut it, you'll notice that the left and right ventricle are on both sides. And one thing that's going to stand out that is very major is that the left ventricle is going to have thicker walls. So as you see here, these walls are going to be way thicker than on the right ventricle. Now this is because the left ventricle is actually going to be pumping blood to the entire body, where the right ventricle is just going to be pumping it to the lungs, so it doesn't have as far of a distance to pump, and therefore it doesn't need as thick as muscle. Another feature that you're going to notice is the inner ventricle septum, and now this is going to be located right here in between both of the different ventricles. Continuing on, you'll have the aortas. Now again, the aortas are going to be on both sides, but here you'll see the right aorta. And you'll notice that the right aorta, it is going to also lead to the pulmonary trunk, which you'll see right here. So it's a little better on this one, but you will see the pulmonary trunk and where it leads on the side. If I can get it to come out here. So yeah, you'll see it'll come out right here is the pulmonary trunk, and it goes all the way through to the right ventricle. Now on the left ventricle, it is going to come out the aorta, which is a very key feature here. And you can see this is where the aorta comes, and it will go through into the left, it will come out the left ventricle. So here are the two different atriums. You got the right atrium and you got the left atrium. Some other key features that you will notice is the apex and the base. And you'll notice the different valves. So I will have to lift this up to you, but you'll notice the valve here. Now this is going to be the bicuspid valve. You'll see that it has two cusps right here, and this is going to be the valve that enters the left atrium and the left ventricle. Now the other valve that you will see, it's a little harder, but this is going to be the tricuspid valve, and this is going to separate the right atrium and the right ventricle. Now on these cuspids, I'll bring up the bicuspids again. You'll notice these heartstrings is what they're commonly known as. The technical term is the chordae tendineae. And then you'll notice they're connected to the papillary muscles. So these are going to keep them from opening and closing, and it's going to help strengthen them. Some other things that you are going to notice is the semilunar valve. Now this valve is going to keep the blood from flowing back into the different ventricles and the different atriums, which will prevent heart murmurs. So this might be a little harder to see, but this is going to be the semilunar valve right here. You can see it's going to keep the blood from going back. And then on this one, it's going to be a little harder to see on the side. But this one is also going to keep it from going back. It's inside here pretty deep, but you can kind of see it right there. Some other things that you will be able to notice is the trunk, the brachiophilic trunk, which comes from the aorta, and this is going to split into the right capillary artery and the right carotid artery. And you'll see here is the one side that it will come out, and here is going to be the other side. And then you'll notice some of the different veins that will come out of the different ventricles and the different atriums. You'll be able to notice coming out on this different side. Here's all like the veins, the back side coming out, and it'll be able to go through to the different heart. Another key feature of the heart is going to be the auricle, and these are going to be flaps that are made up of muscle inside of the atria. So here is, you'll see some flaps here. You can kind of see, it might be a little easier on this one, such as right there, you can see that flap, different flaps, and then going through. And this is a brief overview of the dissection of a sheep heart.